And KD, and then we think there's KD, and then there's Clay. And remember, Clay missed game 3 with a hamstring. Then he fights back in game 4, and then that happened. I don't know. I finally just gave up, and I said, congratulations, number 2. It was meant to be, because sometimes good things happen to bad guys. He's a bad guy, and good things happen.
You need to stop, Skip.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to back off. That's exactly who he is and was. He's trying to say after the game, well, people thought I was faking it. Yeah, you were. You were exaggerating.
He wasn't talking about people. He's talking about you and the Spurs. He's talking about you and the Spurs.
Me and the best medical team in sports thought that he was faking an injury. Okay, I'll give you that. But the painful irony of this whole discussion is that the guy who has been hurt the most over the last 8 years in the NBA, number 2 in San Antonio, he was always hurt with something. He had like 12 different injuries. He was always missing games. Then you keep giving the injury excuse in the NBA Finals, and not to mention the conference finals, and somehow he stays upright the whole finals. For all 6 games, he's just fine. He looked 1,000% healthy to me last night. And he's the one guy who didn't deserve it.
He told you he had tendonitis, Skip.
What's that?
I said he told you he had tendonitis from overcompensation. That's been the report. That's what he said also.
What did your eyes tell you last night? Did he look okay to you? He looked just fine.
No, I know he has tendonitis.
No, I think he looked like 1,000% okay. You know it, and I know it. So just stop it. It's like painful irony. I just can't even fight through it. So now let's talk about my man, Steph Curry. Again, I was his biggest fan going into the draft. I said, take him number 1 over Blake Griffin. Nope, they didn't listen, and he won 2 regular season MVPs. And you know, this is the truth. I'm going to give you an analogy you can appreciate. Steph Curry is a mini LeBron James in that he is a rare talent with no clutch gene. That's what he is. Rare talent, no clutch gene. Because every big shot that he has had in his postseason career, he has missed. He is now 0 for 8 on go-ahead field goal attempts in the final 20 seconds of playoff games. 0 for 8. And they ran a slick little play last night. They had a chance to steal this game. They had no business being in the game that late in the game. But
well, they cheated because, Skip, you know Steph Curry tripped himself.
He did.
They didn't trip Steph. He tripped over his own foot.
I'm going to give you that. It was a phantom foul call, and it shouldn't have happened. But by hook or crook, I'm going to give you hook or crook. They have the basketball. And my man, Danny Green, he just has brain locked, and he just kind of, talk about choking. He just chokes on the pass up court to Siakam, throws it out of bounds, and all of a sudden, they've got the ball on their end of the court with a timeout. So Steve Kerr says, let's run. It's a play that I've seen numerous times before, but it's the old Iggy cross-court pass to Draymond. You know, he throws it all the way across court, and then Steph starts off like a decoy, like he's not going very hard, and then he loops around DeMarcus off a pick, and he comes free, and he gets an open look. And if he makes that shot, we're having a different conversation. They're going to Toronto. I don't know what chance they'd have without Clay or KD in Toronto, but you never know. Maybe Toronto tightens up. I don't know. But Steph's got a shot, and he missed it.
Not to cut you off, Skip, but like Van Fleet, they would have got me because I would have thought Iggy had thrown the ball away because Van Fleet who's playing Steph Curry, and Steph Curry, like you said, he fakes the screen. And when I see the ball come, I'm looking at the ball. And next thing you know, Steph peels, gets the pick from Boogie, and gets a great look. How many times you think in the regular season Steph has made that shot?
Thank you for bringing that up. I think he can make it in the regular season with his eyes closed. I think in his pregame warm-ups, he can make that shot behind his back. He can go Meadowlark Lemon and just make it through his legs. Seriously, he can shoot that like it's a free throw, and he missed it badly. It wasn't even close. And I thought, well, there's that guy. And you know what? He goes 1 for 6 in the fourth quarter, and he missed all 4 of his threes, did Steph Curry last night in a fourth quarter with obviously no Clay and no KD. So you're the man. You got to do this. And meanwhile, the closer for the other team is Van Vliet, and he makes 3 threes in the fourth quarter, and they were big-time threes. They were killers. They were momentum breakers. They were season savers. They were title-saving shots. And I give it up because I can't I can't beat that unless Steph can be that guy. And he proved once again, to me, he's just not that guy to make that shot.
Well, Skip, I'm going to push back when you say he's a mini LeBron, because considering that LeBron has more playoff game winners than Michael Jordan and Kobe, and we've seen what he can do in the playoffs. We just saw it last year. He had 2 buzzer beaters against Indiana, and we saw him against these Raptors that won the title this year, minus Kawhi. So we've seen him. We've also seen him hit that big buzzer beat at the top of the key against Orlando. I think it was 2009, Skip. So we're not going to even go there because we know what LeBron represents come playoff time and game winners.
We don't. He has run from so many late shots like he did in Game 1 at Oracle last year in the finals. Just take that shot, LeBron, or drive it and get to the free throw line. Nope. We know he's the worst superstar free throw shooter late game we have ever seen. So
this is not about free throws. This is not about free throws.
Well,
we're not going to go to the free throws. I know, but he hadn't had that opportunity come playoff time. So when he does, we'll discuss that at another date and time. But to get to your point about Steph Curry, Skip, this was his game. Now, if he gets this to a Game 7 and they lose, he will take somewhat of a beating, but not like he's going to take for not being able to close
I'm
this.
with you.
Because they're going to look at him in a Game 7 and say, okay, he's minus KD, he's minus Clay. Okay, do we really expect Steph to pull this out? Okay, at least get us to a Game 7.
Okay.
But Skip, we've seen this before because it happened in Game 2, and you mentioned this. He didn't take any shots in Game 2 in the fourth quarter. He was 0 for 0 for 0. No points, no shots, nothing.
After Clay went out with 8 minutes left.
After Clay went out, and they still were able to win the ball game. Iggy balled out of his mind. This was old throwback Iggy because we hadn't seen Iggy play like this in the playoffs in a very long time. So he was coming along with Clay. Now Clay goes out, Iggy's still balling. Now, Steph, it's your turn. You got to get us to a Game 7. Just get us to a Game 7, and we can live with any result that happens in that Game 7. Good, bad, or indifferent. Skip, he's got to. He's got to finish this. He's too good of a player. He's been in this moment too many times not to deliver at least once.
At least once. So now he's played in 5 finals with no finals MVP. And let's not leave Draymond out of this. Look, Draymond does so many good things. He stuffs the stat sheet. I'm looking at these numbers, and he gets 19 rebounds and 13 assists, but he also stuffs that other category over here on the far right, which is TO turnovers. He had 8 turnovers last night. And again, I'm rooting like crazy for Golden State, and it seemed like every other time he touched the ball, he just threw it away. And it just, after a while, you can't overcome that. They're better. Toronto's better. They're deeper. They're just a better basketball team. They're better on defense. So if 8 times you just give them the ball back, that's 8 empty trips. That's 8 chances to score that you just gave away. Well, you're going to lose. It's amazing it came down to the last shot.
But this is who they are. You talked about it. They take better care of the basketball. Skip, they averaged 17 turnovers in the 5 previous games.
They did.
What did they get last night?
16.
They got 17.
Yeah.
This is basically
Skip.
This
they
is
did.
Who
They hit their average.
Yeah.
That's right. That's a good point.
Right. This is who they are. And we've talked about this. They get careless with the basketball.
And Draymond Green has been a Defensive Player of the Year, and you pointed out with 26 seconds left, he's got Siakam, and all you got to do is just man up. Just stay in front of him. Just make him take a tough shot.
Skip.
Right?
He went for the steal.
He went for the steal, and he whiffed. And Siakam, it was still a pretty tough shot, but it was open, and he made it. And it was a big shot in the game, man. It gave him a 3-point cushion, and you can't do that. You can't. There are times to gamble and times not to gamble, and I just... He deserves some of the blame for what happened last night.
Well, Skip, the thing is that you look at his stat line, he almost averaged a triple-double, 12.5, 10, 9.3 assists per game. So he was playing, but Skip, he will attempt things, and that when it works really well, you're like, oh, my God, look at that pass by Draymond. But there were some plays early in the ball game where he just threw it directly to Kawhi. He threw it directly to Siakam, and I'm looking at him like, Draymond, why would you attempt that at this juncture of the ball game?
I don't know.
The ball is a premium.
I don't know.
But, Skip, you know what? To go back to what you said about the medical staff of the Spurs and them being very, very conservative, We saw medical staffs can be wrong because remember, even the medical staff at the Warriors, even independent medical staff told Kevin Durant he couldn't hurt himself any worse. They were wrong. It's okay.
Not sure they
will.
told him that,
Maybe,
but whatever. Yeah, that's what Steve Kerr said they told him. But
well, if Kevin Durant went out there on his own, if they told him something that made him comfortable, that he wanted to go out there and risk whatever, however the amount of percentage that it was, Kevin Durant was willing to risk it.
yeah.
So that's why I'm going to have to push back on you when it comes to Kawhi, because it's okay. Maybe, just maybe, the medical staff of the Spurs were wrong with Kawhi in this instance.
I think they were not. We'll talk about that in just a moment, but let's finish up on the injury of last night. Klay Thompson's injury.
It's sad, Skip.
As soon as it happened, I thought the worst. I thought he had wrecked his knee, and then I'm riding the emotional roller coaster because they help him up the tunnel. It looks like he can't even put weight on it, and they inform him, wait a second, if you stay in the locker room and you don't shoot these free throws, you're done for the night. And he runs back down the tunnel and steps up to the free throw line and makes two, and then he kind of trots back on defense, a little limpy, but trotting. And I thought, wow, I think he might be okay. And then I see him up in the tunnel after they took him out. They took an intentional foul and took him out. He's running in the tunnel, and he looked like he was running full speed on what turned out to be a ruptured ACL, torn. And then Doris Burke, what's that?
No, go ahead, Skip. Finish your point. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Doris Burke reports that he's jumping up and down on what was a torn ACL, but what I thought was maybe an okay knee in the locker room. And then they said that Michael Thompson's father, who was obviously a very good player for the Lakers, high draft pick, he's in the tunnel and he asked Klay twice. Yeah, he said, hey, did you hear anything? Did it pop? And according to Doris, Klay said, no, I didn't hear anything. So I'm thinking at that point, emotional roller coaster, I'm thinking, I think maybe he's going to be okay. And then I hear it's torn. Wow. Well, I don't know. Obviously, Phillip Rivers once upon a time played quarterback on a torn ACL, but that's different than playing NBA basketball. But still.
You know what, Skip? The thing is, and you can jump up and down, the ACL provides the stability in your knee. John Elway played his entire college and NFL career without an ACL. He lost it in high school. So you can play without an ACL. You know, he wore a knee brace, but it provides the stability. So going up and down is fine. It's just when you have to move that the leg is unstable. Skip, the minute he did it, the first thing I thought, I said, that's an alphabet injury. That's an ACL, an MCL, or PCL.
Totally agree.
Skip, I knew that was something. And then when he got up and he walked into the locker room and he coming back, I said, man, this joker done pulled a Paul Pierce. That's what I'm thinking, Skip, because I'm thinking, I'm like, he had to have torn something given the way his weight came down and the knee buckled inward. I'm like, did he? And then when he jumping up and down trying to like, okay, I feel okay. Because the adrenaline's still going, Skip. There's adrenaline pumping through his body now. And he doesn't realize what has happened. And then once you settle down, Skip, because we had a guy tear his ACL in the first quarter of a football game and play the entirety of the game on it.
Klay has to get my vote for tough guy of the game, no doubt. Likely
oh my God, he's unbelievable.
February or March rehabbing, but of course it is Klay Thompson. He may surprise us. So, did Kawhi deserve that MVP award?
That's a good question.
Shannon thinks so.
Jen, you ought to stop it, Jen.
I should slap myself, right? According to Shannon. We'll discuss that next, and don't forget to listen to us every day on the Fox Sports Channel on Sirius XM. We'll be right back.